The title of this case is Gary and Mary McLain versus Colleen McPherson. And you're Gary McLain.
Yes.
And you're Mary McLain.
Yes.
And you're Colleen McPherson.
Yes.
Also present is Pam Kirkland from Adult Protective Services and Tori Lawful from Commission on Aging. And Megan Bauer from Legal Aid. Also present is Douglas Coleman, the, is this Fabius Township?
Yes, yes, it is, Your Honor.
Zoning administrator. So there's more here than meets the eye. What the case is presented here as is a termination of tenancy. This is a property at 15271 Mooney Lake Road in Three Rivers. It's in Fabius Township. I'm familiar with this property. There were some small claims cases and other things out there. The McLains have a small farm there. They want you to move, Miss McPherson. This is called a termination of tenancy action. You are a defendant in a landlord-tenant case regarding the termination of your tenancy. And as such, you have certain rights as a defendant in a landlord-tenant case. First of all, you have the right to hire an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one may be available from Legal Aid. And one of the faces on the screen is Megan Bauer from Legal Aid of Kalamazoo. So she's monitoring what's going on here. And if need be, I can put you in a place where you can talk privately with her. We've also got the zoning administrator from the township, and we've got Adult Protective Services and Commission on Aging. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. I don't know why I have to tell everybody that because it's never been an issue even once, but I am required to advise people of that. You have a right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court at this first appearance or file the demand in writing within 5 days using the appropriate court form and be prepared to pay the $50 jury demand fee unless the judge waives the fee for your inability to pay it. If both parties are interested in mediation, the court can help set that up and make a referral to the Citizens Mediation Authority. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord that means the case would get dismissed. The court must provide you with that information to prepare a conditional order of dismissal, or perhaps one of the attorneys would prepare it if there is one. All right, Ms. McLain, at this point, you're all living in the same house at Mooney Lake Road. Is that correct?
That is not correct.
All right. Is this the apartment in the barn?
Yes. And when we got our permits in '92 from Mr. Niken, we permitted a farm dwelling inside the barn because we intended on doing livestock and needing agricultural help. So that was built in '93, and I have the original building permits with me.
All right. Is there a lease?
No.
Does she pay rent?
She did a little bit. Mr. Coleman pointed out to me that my kindness gets me in trouble every time because he's known me a little bit through this.
It's called no good deed goes unpunished.
His exact words.
I think you heard that from me.
Yeah.
All right. So at this point, how long has she been there?
In January, she appeared with not a dollar to her name and her belongings in a snowstorm, and I allowed her to move in with nothing.
Is she related to you?
No.
How do you know her?
I had known her through Facebook for 2 or 3 years. She'd come out a couple of times and visited, and when I had different things open, and then we visited just prior to that because my goat birthing season was coming on, and my Mr. McLain loves to be able to go away for a little while in the winter, and some of my farm help is to help with whatever's going on. And oh, she'd be so wonderful help. She'd help me with the birthing of the goats and this and that and the other. And seemed like a very nice woman. She only had one pet. And
all right, well, we don't need to get into this
I know.
issue right now, but let me ask Mr. Coleman, is this place lawful for habitation?
No, Your Honor, it isn't. And that's the whole problem. Back in May 30th of 2017, an administrative search warrant was executed on this same building, actually the entire property. In May of 2017, this area was placarded as unsafe for human habitation. No enforcement action was taken at that time because Miss McLain was cooperating. I would just indicate for the courts that I do have 2 open cases coming up on September 23rd. Where on this occasion I did cite Mrs. McLain for 2 violations of township ordinances.
All right, well, let's talk about that. Miss McPherson, they want you to move. You don't have a lease, you're not paying any rent, and the township says you're not supposed to be living in there. Have you made any provision to try to move?
I've been trying to move out of there since February. I paid rent up until June 15th,
How much was the rent?
$1,000 a month. And I have,
Stop. So you paid 1,000 for January, February, March, April, May, and June?
yes,
And you disagree with that?
Absolutely did not pay that.
All right, well,
I did set the rent at 1,000 in February when I could see she would be of no use to the farm and high so that possibly she might find a place to live. And she was amicable in the beginning.
all right, well, obviously, at some point, you're gonna have to move out of there. So let's hear from Miss Kirkland of Adult PS. Is Adult PS attempting to help her find a place to live?
We are, Your Honor, and that's why Tony Locklin, she's with Area on Aging, victim advocate. She is assisting me in helping Colleen find a place. Colleen has been looking locally and as far as Kalamazoo as well.
Miss Lawful, have you had any success with that?
We do have potentially an apartment, but it is gonna take a little bit of time.
The law requires that I continue this matter for at least 7 days, which would take us to next Friday. Meg, this doesn't appear to be much of a legal defense. She's not supposed to be living there. They need to get her out of there. We're not asking for money damages at this time. And she's got 2 resources trying to help her find a place to move to.
Judge,
So, yes,
I know your position on this, but is it possible the notice is deficient?
well, let's find out. First of all, let me look at our docket here. Next Friday would be September 5th. What's deficient with the notice?
I am not sure. I haven't seen it, but I do have some notes in front of me regarding this case.
Well, the notice to quit was filed July 16th. No, the complaint was filed July 16th. The eviction notice was something they got off the internet, which looks pretty good. And that was served July 14th. So that may be the problem. The notice to quit was served 2 days before the complaint was filed. No, it was served on May 10th, is what she says. So it was filed at the same time, but it was served on May 10th. That's what my note says. So it appears to be adequate notice.
Thank you, Judge.
At any rate, we're not arguing now about money. This is about possession. If you move and the McLains sue you for rent, we could have another hearing. That's problematic. A, you've been placarded, so you're not supposed to be renting it. And B, you don't have a lease. So you may just pursue getting the property back and not worry about money damages. But let's see what we got for time for next Friday.
Your Honor,
Now, yes,
I did inform Colleen from the very first day that I couldn't just rent to anybody for any reason because of the zoning thing. So she immediately went right to tell Coleman, I gave her the ammunition. But our apartment is in horrid shape right now. I have a video if we could play it, and my husband's cousin Sandy McLean Hummel was here because she was there.
Well, we aren't there yet. We're just about possession.
Oh,
So if you
okay.
get her out and you want to sue her for money damages, you have to file a separate action, probably in small claims court.
But every day that she's there, wow,
Go ahead.
it turns into a mess. She smokes incessantly. It has got maggots hatching out and flies and filth.
Yes, no good deed goes unpunished. So you put her in there, you don't have a lease, she's a tenant at sufferance. I can't just throw her and her baggage out on the street. We have to go through this process. You've been at it since May, and that's really a long time, longer than it should take. You have to give her 30 days notice. Then you filed the hearing in July. I'm sorry, it took all the way from July 16th till now, but I was gone for 2 weeks in July and then I was gone for a week in August at the judicial conference. So here we are in late August. But I have to continue this at least 7 days, and she gets 10 days from that date to move out. So next Friday is September 5th. September 5th is afternoon day, and I would set this for 2 p.m. on 9/5/25 for a second hearing. Now, if you move by September 5th, that's not likely. But if you do move, you need to turn in the keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. There is no lease, there's no security deposit. But you're gonna need to get out of there. Now, they've got some concerns about smoking. Is there a smoke detector in there?
She took them all down.
No, I didn't.
All right,
They're
well,
gone.
I don't, so I've got some concerns about fire hazard in a barn, but also she says there's cleanliness issues. You're ready to move, you would like to move, but you haven't got
I would
anywhere to
love
move to. And so you've got 2 agencies working on moving you,
Yes.
and hopefully they can find something. Otherwise, we're gonna have this hearing, we're gonna address this next Friday by Zoom once again. You're all welcome to come here live. But we'll deal with it next Friday at 2 o'clock. The law requires that I set a second hearing. Didn't used to, but it does now. Then you get 10 days from that date to move, or you'd be subject to being evicted, which essentially gives you until September 15th to move. Or on the 16th, the sheriff could come out and put you and your stuff all out in the street. So that gives you 7 plus 10, 17 days from today. From either of the agencies, do you have any knowledge whether she was paying $1,000 a month rent?
I have no idea, Your Honor. It's just kind of been back and forth. He said, she said. I have
Ms.
no idea.
Lawful?
So Ms. McPherson did provide me with the text communications between herself and Mary since January. An extensive amount of communication where it was indicated and confirmed by Mary in text that she had been paying $1,000. They had an agreement about what the $1,000 would cover. There are some issues that about the notice to quit, kind of all of it. I mean, there's a lot. So
And you're not being picked up very well. What's your concern with the notice to quit?
So the paperwork that Colleen had received, it was back to back to that 30-day notice that said that was sent on May
10th.
served. On the back of that was a 5-day notice that they served on July 14th. That was the most recent notice. And then 2 days later, they filed the paperwork here.
Yeah, I think the notice is sufficient. If she served one on May 10th, and then she served another one on July 14th, the May 10th one would supersede, and she's got more than enough notice before the complaint was filed. At any rate, she needs to get out. She's not supposed to be living there. They're not supposed to rent it. There are some health and safety issues. There may be some money about whether rent was paid or not. But we're not about money at this hearing, we're about possession. And so once she vacates, if you want to sue her for money, you're gonna have to file a small claims case. But since it wasn't supposed to be rented in the first place, that may not go very far. So what you just may need to pursue is possession. All right, everybody on board, we're gonna deal with this next Friday at 2 p.m. All right, we'll address it at that time. And you're welcome to come back live again or appear by Zoom.
Your Honor, do you have any need for me to be in that hearing or no?
No, I don't.
Thank you.
I do have something that I'd like to talk to you about. Did you get a complaint from a guy named Jeff about a property on Moore Park Road? Excuse me, North Fisher Lake Road?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor. I can check with Mike, and would you like to email me an address, or I can contact you later if you'd like?
Yeah, yes. It adjoins my property, so I may, if it comes a case, I'm not gonna be able to handle it. Yes. All right, yeah, I'll talk to you at some point outside of this. Ms. Kirkland, thank you for being here. Mr. Pullman, you don't need to be here next Friday. Ms. Kirkland, I hope you can find a place for her to move to and maybe solve this problem.
Well, we're trying, Your Honor, and I'll be back on Friday as well. Thank
All
you.
right. From time to time, I do make adult PS referrals myself when I've got people that are in a position where they can't find housing or they're otherwise being left in distress. Problem is, it's so hard to do it. You have to do it through the state central agency, and it's not as clear as it once was. Well, we're a little behind, but let's see who we've got. We've got Mr. Commondike on behalf of Golden Ponds Estates. We got K.C. Villa. We got Crystal Gray and Crystal Demada. Rich Demada, which case are you here on?
Should be on mine, Your Honor, I think.
Oh, yes, she is. Calvin Williams and Felicia Wiley. They are not here. So let's talk to Crystal Gray. Let me make a note here. This is 251570 LT. Golden Pond v. Gray. Mr. Cromendike is here on behalf of Golden Pond. Their manager, Casey Villa. And tenant, Crystal Gray. All right, Ms. Gray, you're a defendant in a landlord-tenant case. This is a little different than our last case. The last one was the termination of tenancy. This is a demand for payment of rent. In such a case, you have a right to hire an attorney. If you cannot pay for one, the legal aid attorney may be available to assist you, or you could seek some other legal assistance. You have a right to have the matter heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You have a right to demand a jury trial. If you want to have a jury trial, you must tell the court at this first appearance or make the demand in writing within 5 days of the court explaining it to you, and pay the $50 jury demand fee unless the judge waives the fee for inability to pay it. As a non-payment of rent case, you may be eligible for some emergency financial assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, a local coordinated entry agency that's in Battle Creek, and a housing assessment and resource agency that is Neighborhoods, Inc. Or if you're a veteran, you may be eligible for veterans assistance. You do not need a judgment against you, despite what the DHS might tell you, to get this assistance. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties, the landlord and the tenant, are interested, that's never happened once, but it might, I can refer and help set that up. you may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord that means the case would get dismissed, in which case we would provide, it's called a conditional order of dismissal. This is one of those lot only non-payment of rent cases. Mr. Commandike, we spent a portion of our time at the judicial conference earlier in August on this very topic, whether you can file a demand for rent and lot only in a mobile home park. We discussed this before. I think you sent me a brief from your law firm regarding this. One of the judges in Livingston County shared an opinion where she opined that you can't do it, and she dismissed the case outright. That the only remedy in these cases is the just cause termination for 3 lates in a 12-month period. There is a dispute, and the law is not clear. We need either change in the law, change in the court rule, or a piece of legislation to clarify it, or even a court of appeals case. I've been struggling with it because there's no detriment to the defendant. It allows the defendant to redeem it and keep the property, as opposed to a just cause termination where the only option is to move. And they really don't want the tenant to move because mobile homes are not mobile. Mr. Dutka had represented Golden Pond himself for a number of years, and he's also familiar with this issue. Anyway, it is in flux. So let's assume for the time being that you are able to do this. What is the current arrearage?
Total in outstanding rent and late fees is $1,226.42.
Give me rent.
It's yeah, I don't have the full breakdown between rent and late fees. I have the full ledger, but I'd have to go through and do the math to break out the actual rent versus.
What are the late fees?
Let's see. Late fees are being charged at $60 a month.
Oh, you can't do that on a $395 rent.
What number do you go at, 25?
Well, I went with 40 and then I went to 50. It isn't even clear whether you can even charge late fees, but all right, let's use your figure for the sake of argument. Give me your number again.
$60 for late fees.
No, but what's the total?
Oh, the total amount is $1,226.42. That's rent, late fees, some utility fees, some credit card convenience fees. Yeah, and that it's composed of kind of those categories there.
Well, we're gonna have to break this down at some point.
Yeah,
She doesn't
agreed.
know how much is rent, how much is late fees, how many are the late fees? Can you charge that much?
Yep,
How much
and
are
I've got
utilities?
I've got a full ledger I can look at with her.
All right. At any rate, we know the bottom line, and then the court costs are what?
Court costs are $249.20.
And what's the total?
That's a total of $1,475.62.
Through August.
Correct.
Ms. Gray, what's your intention here?
What do I think? I have it all broke down for you, Your Honor. As far as rent paid and everything, and I dispute the charges, I guess, because I don't understand how it's all adding up. I've paid $19.31 and I should only owe $19.75. So in rent wise, $60 is what I come up with. I just graduated college this month and I'm planning on getting it caught up as soon and as fast as I can. But I don't understand.
How much do you believe you owe? $60?
Yeah, with rent, just as far as rent, not including the water that we can't drink or the late fees, the $300 in late fees. And they're also charging us
All right.
twice to make
All
a
right.
debit payment.
Slow down. So you
Sorry.
believe you owe $60 in rent, you just, now, Mr. Dutka is aware of this. There's been water problems at Golden Pond Estates for many years. I had a case once where they brought in water from the pond, which was cleaner than the water from the tap. And there were other problems. They put in a septic system, which was actually on the neighbor's property. And this precedes you, Ms. Villa, but a previous owner, they put in a drain field and a septic tank, which was on the adjoining farmer's property. But there's always problems when you have a concentrated group of dwellings flushing their toilets and drawing their water out of the same groundwater source. So there's been problems out there for a long time, but I don't know what the current status is. At one time, the health department considered shutting the place down, but they didn't want to make all the people out there homeless. So I think it's better than it was. An owner made a number of improvements. I think I'm not even sure which generation of owner we're on, but any rate, there have been issues regarding that. So we got a bunch of issues here. She contests the amount of rent owed. We threw some spaghetti at the wall to see if it will stick. I don't know how much is rent. I don't know how much is utilities. I don't know how much are late fees. But Ms. Gray, the law requires that I adjourn this matter at least 7 days. And then there's an underlying issue of whether they can even do this. But let's assume that they can. If they filed a just cause termination, that there were 3 lates in a 12-month period, the only option is for you to move and then 90 days to move or sell the mobile home. So there is some benefit to allowing the landlord to proceed in this way, benefit for the defendant. When emergency funding was available, there was a substantial benefit because they wouldn't give you any emergency housing funds if it was a termination of tenancy. If it was a non-payment of rent, they would allow funds to be used to pay the rent. So, like I said, we've been struggling with this issue for a long time. At any rate, we need to continue this matter to 9/5/25 at 2:15. Now, by that time, Ms. Cromendike, there will be another month's rent due. So you might as well just take that figure of $1,400.75 and add another $395 to it.
Correct.
So and I'm disputing that number because I'm probably going to reduce the late fees and I want to see what the utilities are. But 1475.62 plus 395 is 1,870.62. So it'll be about $1,800 that they contend is due. Now,
Chris,
we've got another case to do. I'll call that. Do you think there would be any benefit, Mr. Commandant, for putting you, Ms. Gray, and Ms. Villa all in a breakout room to try to hash out those numbers?
yeah, I think that would be great.
All right, Ms. Gray, you stay with me. Because we have another case, and I'm gonna let you guys talk to each other in a breakout room.
Thank you.
There does not appear to be anybody here on behalf of Golden Pond versus Fox. This is Golden Pond Estates versus Amber Fox. Excuse me. Try not to sneeze. Again, lot only. Let me make my notes. She was personally served. Let's make sure she's not outside. Good morning. I'm looking for Amber Fox. All right, thank you. She's not here. This is also a non-payment of rent case. The defendant was personally served. What's the arrearage here?
Total rent, utilities and late fees is 1,926. I again would note that, you know, we are gonna have the same late fee issue as we did on the last one, and I'd be happy to give you a full breakdown. After I'll reduce the late fees down to 40.
Okay.
That number may go down. And then court costs are $273.69. And so that's a total judgment amount of and amount to retain of $2,199.69.
How many late fees are in there?
See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well,
Wow.
it's hard to tell because the balance has not been zero since for over a year ago. There's been a running balance since at least June of 2024.
Late fee is $60 in the lease. I'll allow 50. Says lot only.
I will adjust that based on the $50 number.
So it sounds like it'll be reduced by about $100. She's not here. She was personally served. Is Miss Via, is she still there? Your microphone is on.
She's still living in the property.
All right. All right, by default, I find that the defendant owes, I'm just gonna put a number on it, $1,826. I reduced 10 late fees. $273.69, total of $2,099.69. They have 10 days from today to pay the rent, or the mobile home is subject to being moved. And it's her house, and this is mobile home only. So this is where the problem becomes, because no one ever moves a mobile home. I don't know why she's not here. The date for the writ is 10 days from today, which would be, today is the 29th. It would be September the 8th. All right, I'll need a judgment. You can email it to me at the address on the notice, which is 3B Civil at stjosephcountymi.gov.
I will get it into you this morning. Thank you.
All right, I don't know. The judge who wrote the opinion in Livingston County was very well analyzed. I've received 2 briefs, one from, I think, the Cox firm and one from another, where they argue that you can do this. We'll see. But now you've got your judgment, and you got to figure out what you're going to do about moving this mobile home. So generally, the thing works out somehow. We'll see where we go with this. All right, she isn't here. She's subject to default. Now, we have our other Golden Pond case that we addressed, Miss Gray, and I'm going to put all the parties in a breakout room to discuss narrowing down those figures. So Miss Gray, when the button to hit join comes up, you join. I'll be here if you need me further.
Do you want us to come back in to talk to you when we're done, or just
if you need to? Otherwise, if you're done, you can all just go, and I'll see you next Friday.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, we are behind, but sometimes that happens. Maybe we'll get caught up. Miss Fox didn't come. We've done 3 cases. Our next matter is Mr. Dutka's. It looks like a default. The title of this case is Crystal Demada versus Calvin Williams and Felicia Wiley. This is a demand for non-payment of rent. Rent is $1,900 per month, which is pretty high for us. This is a house at 123 South Constantine Street. Both defendants were personally served. The rent arrearage is substantial, was $7,070 plus utilities. Mr. Dudka, what's the current status?
Right now, Your Honor, and my client did furnish me with an updated spreadsheet. I know the court doesn't have it, but right now, August rent was not paid, and she received the sum of $230 toward the water bill. And we're showing rent plus utilities of $9,206.25.
All right, how much is rent?
How much is rent on that is going to be $8,970.
And utilities?
Utilities would be, let's see. Looks like $236.25.
Well, it was 466.
Right.
So is that 466 plus the new figure?
That's 466.25 minus the 230 she paid.
Okay, so how much is utilities?
236.25.
And then how much are the court costs?
Court costs I'm looking at filing, service of process, and attorney fee. We're looking at $236.98.
$8,970 utilities, $236.25. Court costs $236.98. What does that ought to add up to?
Let's see. That I
I'll
didn't
add-
add up. Yeah, that one I didn't add up. I should have.
Well, let's see if we get the same number, 236.25 plus 236.98 is 9,443.23.
That's what I have.
Let's check and make sure they're not here. Whoops. This time I'm looking for a Calvin Williams or Felicia Wiley. Yep. All right, thanks. Bye. They're not here. So they are subject to default in that amount. They have 10 days from today to move, or they're subject to being evicted, which will be September 8th. That's a Monday. No money judgment is entered this time. Partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. Miss Demada, are they still there?
I think she might be muted.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Are they still there? I can't hear her. Nod your head. Are they still there?
There we go.
Well, they're way behind in the rent. It was a lease through 2020, and then it became month to month. $1,900 monthly rent is, excuse me, is high for our part of the world.
And
But,
and another rent payment's due Monday, but it's neither here nor there.
yeah, I'm not allowed to add the next month into the equation.
Correct.
All right, they are subject to default, after the 8th of September. You can ask for a writ of eviction and, proceed accordingly. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, how are we doing for time?
She just called in,
Oh, poop.
claimed she couldn't get into Zoom. She
You've
called,
got
I didn't take it.
Golden Pond versus Amber Fox. All right. Tell her this. Shows $2,099.69 in rent.
Okay.
She's got 10 days to pay it. We'll see if she wants to move to set aside the default. She can do that. I'm gonna try to reconvene it. All right, now let's see who we've got. Mr. Thornton is here on Sturgeis Place Apartments. Maria Matson, the manager for the time being, is present. We've got two cases. Mr. Thornton has dismissed one. The next matter, Sturgeis Place versus Goodrum, is set for 9:40. It's 9:48. So let's see what we got. All right, now I'm looking for a Christina Gundrum or Cody Fultz. All right, thank you. Bye. They're not here. This is filed as a demand for non-payment of rent. Each defendant was personally served. And Mr. Thornton and Mr. Bush and a couple of others provide me with these judgment information reports, which makes life much easier. One of the attorneys couldn't tell what was rent, what was late fees, and what was utilities, and we end up chasing our tails. Anyway, in this case, Mr. Thornton has provided that information. July's rent, a late fee of $100, which we can't do. 50. July utilities and September utilities, we're going to allow September in there because it's easier. So the total of rent would be $2,520, $156.44 in utilities, and $237.40 in costs, for a total of $2,913.84. Does that match what you have? If I take $50 off of each late fee?
It does. And Maria had indicated to me yesterday that they were seen moving things out, but I'm assuming that Maria has not received the keys back yet, so.
No, I have not received keys. They are here. My staff told me that they're at the apartment moving the rest of their stuff out right now.
All right. Well, I'm going to enter this default through August. Rent is $2,520. Utilities are $156.44. Court costs are $237.40. This is by default as to both parties. $2,913.84. The defendants have 10 days to vacate, or they're subject to being evicted, and it sounds like they are vacating. That would be September the 8th. Partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction, and no money judgments is entered at this time. And the appeal date is also September the 8th. All right. They're moving. Issue there will be trying to ever collect any money. I've got some people that are coming in here by telephone. Let's see what we've got. All right, so I'm going to call Mr. Thorne's next case, Sturgeis Place Apartments versus Caleb Baum. File number is 251631. They have filed a dismissal without prejudice. I don't know if that means they paid or they moved, but I'll sign that. And then it looks like you're good, Mr. Thorne. I'll see you this afternoon. Let's just make sure who the phone number is.
Okay.
I've got someone here. The phone number ends in 4868. Who am I speaking with?
Charles Huber.
What's your name again?
Charles Huber.
All right. All right. You're good to go, Lance.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
I'm going to do my usual segue into general civil matters, which is always a problem. But let's see what we got here. Grant v. Ballard is set for 10:50. But everybody's here. It's 9:50. I guess that's the next one we've got. Kyle Grant versus Danielle Ballard and Danielle Ballard. All right, Mr. Grant, can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can.
Miss Ballard, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
This is another one of those evictions where the parties are in the same house. A Pulver Road address. Mr. Grant has served a notice to quit on the defendant some time ago, and once Miss
Bless you.
Whoa, sorry about that. Miss Ballard, Mr. Grant wants you to move. What's your position there?
I have no place to go yet. I've been looking since he gave me the 10-day to quit for ever it seems like for a place to stay.
Yeah, the notice to quit was served on July 3rd.
Yeah, when he tried to give that to me,
I lost her. There she's back.
yeah,
All right, he wants you to move. You haven't got anywhere to go. Was there ever any rent? Oh.
no, we had a verbal agreement for exchange and work to organize and clean up his yard, in which I was doing until they started sabotaging
Well,
me.
the verbal
They
agreement
stole the
is not
generator
worth.
and shut the power off. And
All right. Well, are you all living in the same house?
He lives inside the house. I live above the garage.
He shut the power off?
Yeah, the lady in the house decided that she didn't want me there, and she cut the power wire to my room from the breaker box. She then steals my generator that I was using for power, shuts the water off to the water spigot outside, locks me out of the house so I can't use the bathroom. And I mean, this is ongoing. I've even made police reports about this stuff. And
All right, well, let me stop you.
then I get two
Stop,
dismissal
stop,
reports.
stop,
Oh, sorry.
stop. All right, he can't do that. But you can't live here. He wants you to move. You don't have a lease. You haven't moved because you got nowhere to go. So you're in a deplorable circumstance. You're not paying any rent. You're living above his garage. And somehow that is our lot in life. You need to get out of there. Mr. Grant, you can't shut off her utilities. You can't turn off her power. You can't turn off her water. And you can be subject to the lockout law and you can end up paying her money. Miss Ballard, are the utilities working now?
Yes.
Have you made any effort to find a place to go to?
Yes.
Any luck?
I'm sorry, my phone cut out. I've been trying to find a place since, like I said, since he asked me to move out. I just haven't had any luck. Nobody has a room available.
Well, right now your rent is 0, so you're not gonna beat that, but you can't stay there. This probably isn't even a lawful dwelling. We had another case in Fabius Township. This is Fabius Township where someone's renting an apartment above a garage that they really can't do. Mr. Grant, how did she come to be in there?
She was basically in the same situation where she had nowhere to go. And I was nice enough to let her, at least I told her she could stay there until she can find further place to live. And then, of course, she did yard work and stuff like that. And she did fine with all that stuff. But like I say, there was just an incident that happened with it because she wanted more than just the one room that I had upstairs. And I built it for storage. And so anyways, she cleaned everything out of there and took it downstairs. And some of the stuff wasn't mine, and of course, the person that I got living with me, it was her stuff, and so I got yelled at for that, and I'm getting it from all directions, and I'm done with it.
Well, Miss Ballard, as a practical matter, you probably can't even live here. If the township was clued into this, they would probably condemn it. So, but your friend can't cut her power. I don't want you running this on a generator. That's
Right, yeah, that's not happening. Like I say, as soon as I put the power, I turned it right back on, and everything is, the water, same thing, so that's not an issue.
I'm gonna continue this to September 5th. That's next Friday at 2:35. Now, we're gonna revisit this next Friday at 2:35. If he gets what he asked for, which I'm inclined to give him, you would have 10 days from that day to move out, which would be the 15th of September. But you can't continue to stay here. There's no lease, there's no rent being paid, and it's probably not a lawful apartment to be rented. So I hear it all the time. I'd move if I had somewhere to move to. Right now, your rent is 0, and you're not going to find any place where your rent is 0. But it just is what it is, and you know it. You'd move if you had a place to go to. You don't like it there either. But this forces the issue. People would never move. I don't ever move to. 9 years later, I haven't found any place to move to. That's what this proceeding is about. It forces the issue and compels the people to move, and if they don't, then the sheriff moves it for them. So Miss Ballard and Mr. Grant, we're going to address this again next Friday at 2:35. Miss Ballard, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, if you do move, you need to turn in the keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. There is no lease, there's no security deposit, but that's what the law requires. All right, hopefully you can find a place to go, Miss Ballard, because we can't continue on like this. All right, I'll see you both next Friday,
At 2:30, you said?
2:35,
2:35.
but
Okay, thank
2:30
you.
is fine. All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Remove her. All right, now, what time is this one? 10:25. So I've got a couple of general civil matters, and I've got a couple Whispering Pines cases. So let's talk about our general civil cases. And I always, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard every week. I'm in the middle of the landlord-tenant docket. Then I've got 3 thorny general civil cases, but let's see what we've got. We've got Optales versus Charles Huber. Mr. Huber is here by telephone only, which is not ideal. And attorney Titus O'Donnell is here in that matter. Prestige Financial is present and Dustin Stafford is present. And Portfolio Recovery is present, but Michael Lord is not. That'd be Mr. Duquette. Well, let's take up the attorney fee case, and then we'll probably do a default, and then we'll deal with the Staffords. This matter is Optales of Three Rivers versus Charles Huber. The file number is 251141 GC. A default judgment was requested. Mr. Huber was sued for $8,166. Court costs were $161, and plaintiff is requesting $1,095 in attorney fees. Statutory attorney fee in this matter would be $75. So the clerk flagged this for a question regarding attorney fees. Mr. Huber, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, sir.
And Titus O'Donnell is here. Mr. O'Donnell practices in Ohio, but he is also licensed in the state of Michigan. Mr. O'Donnell, what can you tell us regarding the reason why I should supersede the statutory attorney fee for that amount?
Thank you, Your Honor. Titus Donnell, P87307 on behalf of the plaintiff. This is a nursing home bill, Your Honor. And in the contract, there is recoupment of attorney's fees for all collection efforts. So that's why this got requested, is pursuant to that. If the court is not inclined, then we would withdraw, and I'd be happy to resubmit
I could just do it. I don't have the contract.
It was attached to the complaint, Your Honor.
Let's take a look. Mm-hmm. Well, it looks long, so complaint.
It's section 4A, Your Honor.
Residents' responsibilities. You pay us room and board rate, any additional ancillary charges accrued by you while in the facility. any co-deductibles, any additional denied charges not covered by insurance. You will pay for these collection costs. Now, is that the section number 5?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna go with the statutory, a fee of $75. I will enter the default. Mr. Huber, you got served with this
Yes.
lawsuit, didn't answer the lawsuit, so they entered a default judgment. I set this hearing just because I was concerned about the amount of attorney fees. I don't feel that section is sufficiently clear to inform people of the fact that they would have to do this. Plus the statute says the parties entitled to a rinky-dink $75 statutory attorney fee. So 8166.66 plus 75 plus 161.43 in cost is $8,403.09. I've altered the amount and I've signed the judgment. Now, Mr. O'Donnell's firm is located in Columbus. Their number, contact number, is contained on the pleadings. So I suggest when you get this in the mail, that you contact them and discuss setting up some sort of repayment plan before they start a garnishment of their other collection action.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'm on disability.
Yeah, if you
I get
don't have
paid
any
once
money,
a
you
month.
don't have any money.
That's how I get paid once a month. And
Yes, you're probably what's
2000.
called. Go ahead.
I've had cancer twice. I lost my wife 2 years ago from cancer. And the reason I ended up over at Rears is I had a blood clot burst to my leg. I couldn't feel anything. I had to be rushed to the hospital by ambulance. I was in Kalamazoo Hospital for 3 weeks in a coma. I was then put into that nursing home, which I wish you could take a drive and stop in and walk through that place.
I've been in it. All right, well, none of those are for me to decide. You were placed in there, you signed a contract, they provided services, you didn't pay the bill, wasn't covered by insurance. I did reduce the attorney fee by almost $1,000, but you're not presently in a position where you have any money to pay this. Your circumstances could change. You could win the lottery or inherit $1 million or something. But at this point, your medical story is certainly one of struggle, but it isn't a defense to the fact that you owe the money, but you don't have any money to pay it. So they probably are not going to be able to collect on it, but you got sued. You didn't file an answer. The time frame passed. So you're subject to default. I was here just to question the attorney fee and I reduced it substantially. And I guess that's the best I can do, sir. You'll get a copy of this. Are you at the Congress Street address?
Yes, I am, sir.
All right. Anyway, once again, their contact information is on there. You can contact them, but they can't garnish your disability. And if you don't have any money, you don't have any money. Mr. Donald, thank you. Your boss probably won't be very happy with my ruling, or the client, but I reduced it. I entered your default effective today, which would be 9/8/29/25. All right, thank you. You're all good to go.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great weekend.
All right, we're working on
Thanks.
it.
Have a great,
All right,
great,
Mr. Huber, good
great
luck.
weekend, Your Honor.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, I'd have a great weekend if the sun shined and it was 80, but we'll do the best we can. TJ, I've got a couple more general civils in here.
Not a problem.
We'll get to your two cases. We also have portfolio recovery versus Michael Lord. Mr. Duquette is here. This is defendant's motion for installment payments, and he isn't here. Good morning, Mr. Duquette.
Good morning, Your Honor.
We've had several hearings in this matter. The debt is $5,497.61. It's probably altered with interest. Defendant filed a motion for installment payments of $100 a month. Plaintiff filed a written objection and the defendant didn't show up. So we're just gonna chase our tails here. How much would the plaintiff accept?
We were requesting $230 a month, which would pay the judgment balance off in about 2 years.
All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna order $230 every month, starting October 1. Defendant failed to appear at hearing. All right, we'll see how that flies. He probably won't like that much, but he isn't here to defend it. Rather than just deny his motion outright, I set the amount at what plaintiff will accept and see how we do with that. Thank you, Mr. Duquette.
Thank you, Your Honor. Enjoy your
Looks
long
like
weekend.
you're in the blue void there with the background you got. I hope you don't fade away. All right, thank you. I'll see you next time.
All right, have a good one.
All right, that leaves us with Prestige Financial versus Dustin Stafford. And somebody is here for Prestige. I can't yet determine who it is.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jay Lazar on behalf of the plaintiff, P69480.
All right, give me that again.
Jay Lazar on behalf of the plaintiff, it's P69480.
I can't see you. Can you turn your camera on?
Yeah, I'm working on that. I'm sorry. I'm having some sort of internet problem with that.
All right, well, this also is a motion for installment payments. The debt here is significant. It's over $20,000. Defendant filed a motion for installment payments. He wants to pay $75 per week on a $25,000 debt. Mr. Stafford, the interest on this is probably $75 a week. Mr. Lazar, what's your position?
Your Honor, my client's position is, again, there was no willing attempts at payments on this until the garnishment was filed and hit. Again, it was quite a number of years from the filing. I believe it was in 2023 at the beginning of the year. So it's been close to 2.5 years with no willing payments. He did make an offer at one point. We accepted. No payments on that offer ever came in. So it's not so much a matter of the amount. It was just that when he was on a willing payment plan, he never made any payments. It looks like there was similar issues with our client before they turned the file over to us as well. So willing payments from my client's perspective haven't really gone anywhere. Plaintiff would like to keep the garnishment in place. If your honor does grant an installment plan, which we understand will probably happen, we do note that it looks like there's close to $900 every 2 weeks or so coming in on the garnishment. So taking that in mind, along with the amount of the debt and how long it would take and the interest to make this productive, it's not so much if an installment plan is granted, we would ask that closer to around 150 a week would be asked.
Your Honor,
Yes, I hear you.
when I talked to the attorney, the gentleman who's talking, when I told him I was going through a messy custody battle, messy divorce, and I told him I could afford $100 a month, he told me that his company would not accept that at all. So for him to say that I was willing to pay $100 a month, but he told me no.
All right, well, let me
My
stop you,
14-year-old.
Mr.
Okay,
Stafford.
sorry.
$100 a month won't even pay the interest on a $25,000 debt. So
I understand that, sir.
It's not enough. So you've mostly ignored this until they started a garnishment where they take a large chunk of your pay, and then you filed this motion. So $75 a week is better than $100 a month. But right now they're taking a big chunk of your paycheck.
Yeah, I know, it's a struggle.
And you are going through a divorce and custody battle. And
No, the divorce is finalized.
All right.
But at the time when he served me the papers, I was sitting in jail for doing weekends, and I got the paper. I called him that following Monday as soon as I got out on a Sunday, called him up, offered him, and like I said, he said no. So I was like, okay, well, what the heck am I supposed to do then? And then went about my business. Then I went into work one day working at the Constantine Flooring Center, and my boss was like, hey, do you know anything about this? I was like, yeah, I tried to set something up a year ago, and I got told no, so I'll deal with it. So then I wrote into the courthouse and asking for the payment plan, and I broke down all my bills.
Well, you make it sound like, hey, I want to take care of this. Yeah, I want to pay $1 a year on a $10,000 debt, which will take 10,000 years to pay off the debt.
Correct.
Your offer of payment was less than the interest. So you were just going to get farther behind. So that's why they said, no, I'm going to try to come up with something that might get us where they want $150 per week. You want $75 a week. You actually want $100 a month. Would you rather?
No,
do it
at the time it was
bi-weekly?
$100 a month, sir.
Yes. Would you rather do it bi-weekly or every week?
I get paid weekly, so every week would be fine.
$100 a week, starting October 3rd.
Now, do I mail that to them, or is it just going to continue to come out of my check?
Well, no, it won't be a garnishment. It'll stay the garnishment. So you're gonna have to set up a payment plan with them. Maybe they can do a automatic wage assignment from your check, but it's
Okay.
less than they want and more than you want. But it will pay about $430 a month, give or take. $100 a week isn't the same as $400 a month. There's 52 weeks in the year. So you're gonna pay $100 every week directly to them. And what I would suggest you do is go into your payroll and set up a wage assignment.
Okay.
All right, $100 per week.
So does the garnishment stop, or do I, or does
This-
it stop
this-
after?
This will stop the garnishment. Any
Okay.
funds that been garnished can be applied to the debt, but they're probably in limbo right now. But yes, effective today's date, which is 8/29/25, $100 per week starting October 3rd. That's the first Friday in October.
Could I get the attorney for Prestige? Wait a minute. Okay, I got the phone number. Jay, do you mind if I call you so I can get an address or some way to?
I can put you
set up
guys in a
payment plan?
breakout room right
Well,
now.
That's more than fine, Your Honor. The phone's easier anyway. If he wants to call me, then Mr. Stafford, I see you're a little riled up. I apologize. I don't think I myself have ever talked to you. By all means, call me at the office. I'll give you all the information you need.
Yep. Will do. I'll call
right,
you right now as soon as we hang up out of here.
Perfect.
Appreciate it,
All
guys.
right,
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, now that.
Everybody have a nice Labor Day.
All right, we're working on it. All right, Mr. Reed is here. Ms. Lentz is here. Nobody else is here.
I got Robert in my office with me and Margaret. Colonial wants to give me one.
All right, well, let's talk to them. This is file number 251499 LT. It's entitled Colonial Estates versus Robert and Margaret Wedland. Rebecca Lentz, the manager, is here. The defendants are in the office with her. Mr. and Mrs. Wedland, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, Mr. Timothy Reed is here. We learned a lot last time we were here. This is another one of those lot only cases that we struggle with.
This is lot and rent, Your Honor.
Oh, yes, it is. It wasn't clear. Lot and rent, and the rearage was, I think, 3186 was the total. What's our
Correct.
status here today?
From my understanding, Your Honor, the total amount there has been a payment made is $2,186.86. And that included all the court cost of the court cost, service fee, and filing fee of $209.30.
All right, well, I gotta back that out. How much is rent?
2,000. Hold on, we did that last time. It was of
How much
that dollar amount, Your Honor, $2186.86 less $209.30.
This is a hard way to do it.
So $1,977.56 is rent. Well, and 160 of that is trash fee, Your Honor.
Rent and trash. 160 is trash?
Yes.
All right. 1977 minus 160 is, oops. $1,875.66 plus trash 160, trash delivery, and 209. How much were the court? 209.30.
Yes.
Gives us 2,186.86.
Yes, sir.
Which is, yeah, all right, well, let's do it that way. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Wedland, what's your position?
Well, we did pay $1,000 payment,
Mm-hmm.
so that would come out of that. And I have 3 organizations that I'm working with to get assistance with the past due amount.
Okay. Are you getting any help from the VA?
Well, that's one of them that we're dealing with is the, what is that called?
American Legion. They have to turn in paperwork.
And then the other one is the, oh, in fact, there's 2 more. The other one is the agency that I was called twice a day.
Community Action.
Yeah, Community Action. And I finally did get an appointment they're sending me the paperwork to fill out to send to them. I've been calling them twice a day and they haven't had any openings. And then the other one is,
now, on September 1st, another month's rent and lot rent are going to be due.
yeah,
So this figure is only through August.
yeah.
So I wish I could include it because it would be helpful when you're asking for emergency financial assistance. But rent through August is $1,875.66. trash is 160 and the court costs are 209.30. So the total is 2,186.86. You have to pay that within 10 days or you're subject to being evicted. 10 days from today is September the 8th.
Well, the organizations I'm
All right,
dealing with.
let me tell you some more. Miss Lentz knows this. She's been around for a while here and she's worked with lots and lots of tenants. She doesn't have to evict you on September 8th. She has 56 days from today to ask for the writ of eviction and actually another 56 days to serve it. It's much easier to keep a good tenant in there than to move them out, particularly in a mobile home, because they would have to move the mobile home. So it's in their interest to get the rent paid. But I need to tell you that a partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. So the monthly rent and lot fee is how much, Mr. Reed?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. It is $709 a month. Is that correct? Plus there's a pet and trash fee of $40 extra, but the base rent is $709.
Yeah, so they pay $749.
All right, so next September 1st, you're gonna owe an additional $749, which is gonna make this about $3,000. So let's say that VA and American Legion, and they all give you $2,500. You still are gonna owe the balance. So you need to stay in good contact with Ms. Lentz. And they're going to share this judgment with these funding agencies and see if you can get some emergency help. Do you have any other source of income?
Just what we get every month.
Well, do you have Social Security?
Yes.
And a pension or just Social Security?
Well, the pension is only.
I got a pension of
100, is it?
130 and another pension for 170.
All right, so that's 300. So you have some money coming in, your pensions and your Social Security. So you've got money, and if you get financial help, maybe you can get squared away. But
Well, that's what we're hoping.
Well, I think that probably somebody's going to give you some help, but you have to pay the entire amount. And bear in mind, September 1st, another $740 is going to be due.
Yeah.
Mr. Reed, do you have anything to add?
I do not, Your Honor. We'd sent judgments over yesterday or the day before with
Yeah,
the
I
bill.
have them.
Okay.
All right. All right. We'll send a copy of this. You stay in contact with your manager. All right.
Yep.
All right. You got good contact. And again, she knows how this works. She's very experienced and I'm sure she'll continue to work with you.
Oh, they've
All
been
right.
really good about it.
All right. You're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next one is Whispering Pines versus Eastman and all other occupants. Defendant failed to appear, but we did not have personal service. So we continued the matter until today. Ms. Lentz, do you believe Mr. Eastman is gone?
No, they're still there.
Have you had any contact with him?
She made a payment yesterday. His wife did, $500. She said that she was going to pay the rest by this morning before court. I told her what time it was. She said she wouldn't be on court, and I did not get the payment before court.
All right, so last week the payment through August was, or the amount was $1,113.50. So we should deduct 500 from that.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, 1113.50 minus 500 is $613.50. plus 179.10. Is, that's not right. 613.50 plus 179.10 is 792.60. We'll do a default in that amount.
All right. And you have that judgment as well, correct, Your Honor?
I do, yes, thank you. And then again, this is through August. It's always an issue at the end of the month. Rent is $613.50. It sounds like they're gonna certainly get it caught up by the requisite date. Court costs are $179.10. The total judgment out of $792.60. Not overwhelming. That's due by September the 8th. Partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. And the date for the appeal is also 9/8/25. All right, it's helpful to have those judgments, Mr. Reed. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome, Your Honor. And of course, these numbers came in, as like Rebecca said, payments yesterday and a couple days ago, so we just have to leave them blank so we know the
Yes.
morning of.
But that's fine. That's fine. All right, that finishes that. I've got a criminal matter to address. Mr. Stickley's here to help me with that. And Meg, I guess that finishes our day. I'll see you maybe next Friday.
Oh, I thought she was the defendant. I thought that's what who Keith was here to represent.
I mean, I'd be in good
Mr.
hands.
Stickley's here to represent Meg. She
There you
doesn't.
go.
You're in trouble, Max. Sorry.
I honked at her and Mr. Kupferschmidt made him jump a foot, which didn't brighten my day, but we're good to go here.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great
Thank
weekend, everybody.
You too,
Thank you.
Keith.
Bye.